Hello everyone. In this module 4 of unit 4 of principles and practices of management, we would be taking up the major theories of leadership. Under this syllabus, we would be covering 4 major theories, that is the Likert scale theory, the managerial grid theory, the path goal theory and the situational leadership theory by Fred Friedler. So let us start with the module, which says, let us start with what is leadership. It says basically leading people, influencing people, commanding them and guiding them. To start with the theories, generally there are basically 7 to 8 general theories. Let's start with the great man's theory, which says great leaders are born, they are not made, they arise out of the great need, they possess the characteristics and traits which are not found in the rest of the population. The concept is based on the belief that the great leaders are not made but born with the unique characteristics which allow them to rise to occasions during difficult period of time like Gandhiji, Abraham Lincoln, etc. Let us come to the second theory, which is about the behavioral theory, which says it is believed that leaders are not made, they are made, they are not born. So this leadership theory focuses on the actions of the leaders and not on the mental qualities or inner state. According to this theory, the people can learn to become leaders through teaching and observation. So he divided his theory on the basis of two, that is concern for production and concern for people. In the later slide in this video, we would be discussing in detail. The third one is the situational leadership, which is this states that instead of using just one style, a successful leader should change their leadership style and base it on the maturity of the people they are leading and the task they are dealing with. So using this theory, the leader should be able to place more or less emphasis on the task and more or less emphasis on the relationship between the people so they are leading, depending on what's needed to get the job done successfully. Fine. So the leadership style under this are that telling style, selling style, participative or delegating style. The fourth one theory is the contingency theory, which says situational theory, and it is the main difference is that the situation theory tends to focus more on the behavior that the leader should adopt given the situational factors, and whereas the contingency theory takes a broader view that includes contingency factors about leader capabilities and the other variables within the situation. So this is the Friedler's lead preferred co-workers, that is the LPC, which is related to the leader member relationship, task structure and leader's position power, which again in the future slides, in this slide only, we would be discussing in detail. The fifth one is the trait theory, which says the trait of the leader is based upon the behavior and personality and the characteristics of many leaders, both successful and unsuccessful, and it is used to predict the leadership effectivenessly. So it assumes that the people inherit certain qualities and traits that make them better suited to leadership. They are not born, they are made. So basically it is a resulting list of the traits that are then compared to those of the potential leaders to assess their likelihood of success or failure. So the success leaders definitely have interests, abilities and personality traits that are different from those of the less effective leaders. Fine. So it has this own advantages and disadvantages are there. So the sixth one is the participative theory, which says it is as a transformational theory, which we had done in module 3. The management theory is the transactional theory, and the servant theory says it is the servant leader is the servant first. It begins with the natural feeling that one wants to serve first, then conscious choice being one to inspire to lead. So basically it's listening, empathy, healing, awareness, persuasion, conceptualization, foresight, stewardship, commitment to growth and community building, etc. So let us come to the main thing, that is there are the 4 theories which we will be discussing in this. The Likert scale, let us start with the Likert scale as it says. So in this theory is based on the 7 variables, that is the leadership process, motivational force, communication process, interaction, influence process, decision making process, goal setting and control processes. So here it says it was given by Rhesus Laker, and he was a famous for developing the Likert scale, and he was a psychometric scale commonly he used the psychometric scale commonly used involved in research using questionnaires. And according to him, he divided the Likert scale or categorized into 4 management systems, that is the explorative, autocrative, benevolent, or authoritative, explorative, authoritative, consultative system and participative system. To start with the first, that is explorative authoritative system first, that is, it says there is no trust, confidence in subordinate, decisions are imposed on subordinates, they are not free to discuss things about the jobs with their superiors, the team work or the communication is very less, superiors or the managers rarely get ideas or opinions of the subordinates in solving the job problem. So, the management is only concerned with the completion of the work with they use any means to get it done. The second one is the benevolent autocrative, which is the superior has condensing faith and trust in their subordinates like a master servant relationship, and the responsibility lies with the superiors to motivate in the basis of the reward for not fear and threats, and the communication may flow upward but restricted to what the superior wants to hear, job related issues, or it can be cannot be discussed with the superior. So, there is a lack of communication and there is a little teamwork. The third one is the consultative system, which says the responsibility is spread widely throughout the organizational hierarchy. The superior has substantial but complete confidence and trust on subordinates. Still, the superior keeps the control of decision with them only, and the subordinates feel rather free to discuss things about their job with their superiors, but there is a fair amount of teamwork where the communication takes place vertically and horizontally. The motivation is not based on the rewards. In the participative, that is the fourth system, which is completely confidence and trust in the subordinates about all the matters, and there is a discussion of the job, there is high level of teamwork, there is communication, there is participative, there is a responsibility for achieving the organizational goal is widely spread and throughout the hierarchy. Fine. So, let us come to the okay. It says what are the features of effective management. It says the motivation to work must be fostered by modern principles. The employees must be seen as people who have their own needs. The organization is tightly knit and highly effective work groups must be built by which committed to achieve the objectives of the organization. Supportive relationship must exist within each group. So, the Likert believe that in an organization is to achieve optimum effectiveness, then the ideal system to adopt a participative system. Fine. The second one is the management grid, which says it is this model originally identified 5 different leadership styles based on the concern for people and concern for production. Concern for people is the degree to which the leaders consider the need for teamwork, their interests, their area of personal development when deciding how best to accomplish a task. Whereas the concern for production is the degree to which a leader emphasizes on organizational efficiency and high productivity when deciding how best to accomplish a task. So, this is the diagram of the let us start with the first one, which says basically he had divided into 9 matrix, which created 81 positions in which the leader style may fall, but the objective of this model was to identify the leadership style of a leader. So, out of which 81, the 5 types are the main which are discussed here. First one is improvised leaders, which is that it is mostly ineffective, indifferent to both people and production. So, it is one position, and the leader is completely indifferent and ineffective, and they cannot get the job done. So, they can create little interest and motivate people. So, the result are completely disorganized, dissatisfied and there is a disharmony. The second one is the 9-1, that is the task oriented or produce or perish, only interested in results. So this type of manager is autocratic, has strict work rules, policies, procedures. In this, he views the punishment as an effective way for motivating, and this is completely production driven, and this type of leaders is to struggle to retain the high performance. Next is the country club. Here the leader is too friendly and highly concerned with two people. The result is work environment is highly relaxed and friendly, but where the productivity suffers because there is a lack of direction and control. The next one is the 5-5, that is the middle of the road, which says the middle of the road is like a status quo, and this strategy is not effective as it delivers only mediocre performances, and leader is highly diplomatic in nature. The last one is the team style, that is the 9-9. They have the high concern for production and high concern for people, and it is most effective leadership style, and it reflects a leader who is passionate about it. So let us come to the third one, that is which says it is the house path goal theory, which says that it was developed by Robert. Path goal model was a leadership based on the combination of situational and Vroom's expectancy theory of motivation, and the leader should adopt a style or a path based on their circumstances with the aim of achieving an objective, that is the goal. So it's a situational contingency model built upon the Vroom's expectancy theory of motivation. So according to this model, the main function of a leader is to clarify and set goals with subordinates to help them to find the best path for achieving the goals and remove the obstacles of their performances and need satisfaction. Let us come to the fourth, that is the Fred Fiedler's and contingency theory. It says it is very closely related to the situational approach in what has become a contingency, and it emphasizes the importance of both the leader's personality and the situation in which the leaders operate. So there are two aspects of contingency theory, that is the task motivated and relationship motivated. That is, task related is related to the task accomplishment, and relationship is the interpersonal relationship. So here the contingency theory, it says it has three characteristics, that is the leader member relations, the task structure, and the position power. The situational leadership it refers to when the leader or the manager of an organization must adjust his style to fit the development level of the followers he is trying to influence. So basically there are four leadership styles, that is the telling and directing, the selling and coaching, the participative and supportive, and the delegating style. So in the style of the directive, in leader member relationship, it refers to the personal relationship between the leader and the follower, which may be good or bad, and it can be measured on the basis of the trust, respect, confidence, and the followers they have there to lead. In the task structure, it refers to the extent a task is structured or non-structured. If the responsibility, role, or authority of a task are clearly defined and easily understood, it will be called structured task. If the task is of non-routine, complex, ambiguity nature, it will be termed as non-structured. In the leadership position, the third one, it refers to the extent the position and the power of a leader is strong or the weak in the organization. If the position of the leader is strong, that is, he can assign work, recommend transfer, promotion, demotion, then his position power will be high or favorable, or vice versa. So the Fiedler emphasized the need for establishing proper adjustments between the situation and the leadership style. That's all in this module. Thank you so much.